my colleague at NFL Network. You can check out NFL Plus coverage of inside minicamp starting in, I believe, 15 minutes here. Ian Rapoport, kind enough to join us here, Ian. Let's start with what has played out in Buffalo over the last couple of hours. Sean McDermott saying that Stefon Diggs is not at the mandatory minicamp. Diggs' agent saying he will be at the minicamp. Where exactly do we stand right now on Stefon Diggs?
Well, I mean, where we stand is that Diggs was at the minicamp, but appears to be no longer at the minicamp. This is what I just got from Buffalo Bills a couple minutes ago. He was there yesterday. He was there this morning. He did meet, it sounds like, with Sean McDermott, and then he left. So it's kind of like the Seinfeld where Costanza's like, I was bald, like, he was there. And now he's not there. And so I guess where we currently stand is not there.
So I tweeted it out earlier. Diggs' contract got redone back in March. They flipped a bunch of his base salary into a signing bonus. So he's got a $23 million signing bonus that he already collected this year. I don't know the exact payout structure, but point being, it's already been converted. There's so much dead cap that it's not a tradable contract. We've seen Diggs, quite frankly, tweet his way out of Minnesota before. I'm just trying to figure out what's the action item. Like, what would Stefon Diggs possibly want by blowing off the mandatory minicamp?
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it's a point. He is trying to show something, and maybe it's just that he's frustrated. Maybe it's how many targets he gets. Maybe it's the way things are being drawn up for him. Like, there are certainly some options here. Hard for me to imagine it's money. He's got money. He's got a new contract. He talked about being with the Bills for a while, or to end his career. We also saw at the end of, I guess it was the Bengals game, right? Some sort of theatrics on the sideline, a little bit with Josh Allen, some sort of indicating that maybe all is not 100% well. Didn't talk to reporters after the game, which doesn't mean a lot, but I would say something. So clearly there is something that he's not happy with. I would also say this, Tom. It's June. And if you're going to be annoyed about anything, June is a fantastic time to be annoyed about something, because that gives a lot of time to make it right.
And when it only costs you $99,000 to miss the entire 3-day minicamp, not the types of numbers and signing bonus collection that can happen if you start holding out in training camp. So we'll be monitoring that. Also monitoring the DeAndre Hopkins situation.
How about you being late to get to me because Dalvin Cook called in?
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm pretty good at this.
Well, I would certainly not say that. I'm just saying, if there's any reason to get to me late, Dalvin interrupting your show is a pretty solid one.
I would agree with that. Well, let's talk about Dalvin, because we talked about his shoulders healed up now. He had the surgery. He's feeling a lot better. His doctor, he said, has pretty much cut him loose to do everything. He said he's been getting blown up by everyone in the NFL. Did not want to name names, said we're going to keep them all anonymous. Based on what you know, Ian Rapoport, where do we stand on one of the highest profile players to be released in recent years in his free agent journey?
This is a weird one because he is a great player, and he really is an awesome player. And I would just say, not that my opinion matters at all, but has long been one of my favorite players to watch, just because
that's nice.
Any play could be a touchdown. You just never know. He is explosive in a way that is kind of rare, and most running backs aren't. So he is very fun to watch. Even though he is very coveted, I am still not sure the money is going to be outrageous, because running backs make what they make. I mean, Miles Sanders, I think I'm right about this. Miles Sanders was the highest paid running back in free agency this year and got $6 million a year, and I thought that was a really, really good deal. So my guess is Dalvin gets somewhere around there. Anything more is a great job. I would also imagine, there's a couple teams that probably right now are like, hey, could I use a really good running back? Miami, Denver, some other. And then after those, I would say look at the really good teams who might be one piece away, who might be, maybe they're not at the top of the market, but any of the 10 teams who you think are going to make the playoffs all could probably use him.
DeAndre Hopkins also on the free agent market right now. He visited Tennessee Sunday and Monday. Great moment in timeline reporting earlier today when I had said that DeAndre Hopkins' visit to England was on Thursday. You came back and said, actually, it's Wednesday and Thursday. So I stand corrected on that. Obviously, he has to fly in at some point. That would be Wednesday, and then Thursday.
Now,
you didn't
of the visit. Tweet it, though. I didn't see.
I said it on TV, on the network that you're on. So thanks for watching Total Access last night.
Jude had a baseball game. I was coaching at that moment.
The Around the NFL account tweeted it. There's various ways that you could find out this information. But, all right, Hopkins, you know the situation there. Tennessee, there was no offer yet. Certainly seems like that's a logical fit. There's also connections in New England. How and where and when does this end with DeAndre Hopkins?
So let's talk about the Thursday visit, right? Because obviously there's going to be – I was not expecting the Titans to have anything. And, like, if you're DeAndre Hopkins, you have to take the Patriots visit. You just have to. Like, unless Tennessee's going to offer you $20 a year, you have to do the Patriots visit. So either way, nothing was happening there yet. I would say that it is possible something happens Thursday. It is possible. And you know that DeAndre Hopkins is not going to visit really anywhere unless he knows that a team is going to kind of sort of be around where he wants money-wise. Right? Like, he's not getting on a plane, obviously flying in Wednesday. He's not getting on a plane until he thinks that there's going to be something there. So at least I would say these two are very, very serious. It would make a little more sense to me, and I would say similar to Dalvin, like, just wait. You never know what could happen in the offseason. You never know what needs can be created. Could always be an injury. Also, like, if you sign Thursday, what's the difference? You're not going to be practicing for a month and a half anyway, so waiting actually makes sense.
Last thing for you, Ian Rapoport, because I know you got to run to do the big NFL Plus Inside Mini Camps show. You can sign up on NFL.com for that. Very good content from our friends at NFL Media for the next couple of hours here. Saquon Barkley's comments on Sunday certainly, I think, pointed out that they are not close. They're not really on the same page right now in terms of the negotiations, but at least, as I keep saying, there are negotiations, which is not always the case with franchise tag players. Where does this end with Saquon Barkley, and what's the number in your mind that it takes to get this done?
So I kind of didn't think his comments were that negative. I mean, I guess you could read some of the comments and choose some are negative, but, like, I'm kind of with you. Like, they are talking. He didn't say no deal is happening. He just said, we have a lot of time until July. I'm not going to anything until we get to July. And I was kind of like, oh, like, that's good. Right? I mean, that basically is kind of like where you want to be. If he gets into I don't know what will get it done, but I would imagine, past 13, maybe 14, maybe more. I don't know. There's some good running back contracts out there. There are players who are worth it. I believe he is a player that's worth it. I also believe the Giants are not going to extend past they're comfortable. To me, there is a deal to be made here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but at least they are speaking the same language, and both sides want the same outcome, which is for him to be there for a while. So we'll see what happens in July, but at least there is a shot.
Ian, thank you very much for coming on. We will be watching you on NFL Plus as soon as this show ends.
Probably the highest-rated portion of your show. I'll talk to you later.
Probably not. That's Ian Rapoport, my NFL Network colleague there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.